This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of An Anthropologist Watches Glitter and Lasers. And this is the next official part of the documentary series that Anna's making out of her lipedema surgery. So here we are. This one's not quite... It's not a continuation. She's not updating us on her second surgery at this point. She's basically going back and talking about her overall journey. I don't think she talks any about her second surgery at all in this one, as I'm recalling. Yeah, I think she's just talking about her first surgery. But, and this video is kind of interesting because Anna starts off kind of explaining what's going on, and she progressively gets more agitated as the video goes on till she gets to the end where she's clearly like irritated, right? To the point where she signs off, and she usually does the whole like peace thing. She actually says something to the effect of I think I've outgrown peace now. I think I'm just going to say good day. All right, then. I think this one's just going to be a little fascinating because of the whole, like, watching her progressively work herself up because of the negative criticism she's been getting about this lipedema surgery. This posted an hour ago as of right now. Today is August the 30th. The video very much feels like Anna has spent too much time reading the criticisms that she's getting, and instead of actually addressing them, she's doubling down. As she does. That is typical Anna behavior, honestly. So, here we are. I'm probably going to be fidgeting with the OG Slime dry food. It smells like cinnamon. Because it looks like poop. It does kind of. But it smells really good. I did already watch this, so I do have a basic idea of what to expect. I am going to speed her up to 1:25. I think it's interesting that we get this video now because Anna hasn't really been posting too much about her second surgery recovery. I know she posted something where she went to Trader Joe's and her nurse bought candy and stuff because Anna deserved a treat. But she doesn't know why she's, you know, almost 600 pounds, you guys. Can't figure that one out. It's a mystery. And was there something else she posted about the second surgery? I know she's been going off in her threads, and we might go check out threads when we get done here. But yeah, we haven't really gotten as many updates on the second surgery as we did the first. And I don't know if that's because Anna's mad at her audience because she is getting quite a bit of pushback on top of people like brown nosing up the wazoo. She is getting a lot of pushback, and I think that she wasn't expecting that. She never does. I don't know why. She tries to sell herself as this like controversial character who doesn't care. She's positive and progressive no matter what the world throws at her. But then like the first time she actually has to deal with legit criticism, she crumbles. She just completely falls apart. So there you go. Trying to think if I need to say anything else before. Oh yeah, I do. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button, ding ding. And yeah, I think we're ready to jump in now. Remember, she's sped up, so she seems particularly animated. That is because she is sped up. All right, let's go crazy.
So as y'all know, I have been sharing my lipedema journey, and that has been a very vulnerable and kind of scary thing for me. I'm gonna be very real about it. And part of the reason we've taken some time to put these videos out, and they're not exactly happening exactly in real time,
Who's we?
is because I've wanted to put a lot of thought into what we're producing. And then also I wanted to make sure I was answering the questions I was receiving.
Spoilers. She does not. I will say this, there's been a bit of a, like, surgery gate, date gate thing going on. Anna's been trying to obfuscate the dates of her surgery, her second surgery, not the first one. She was all about sharing that one. The second surgery, though, she's trying to keep the date kind of a hush-hush. And it seems odd, but something that something several people, including Colin Mockery, have pointed out is Anna might be keeping her dates secret because she's worried about somebody following her to the surgery, or even Anna lives alone, so if people know she's out of town, they might try to, like, break into her apartment or something. Who knows? So there is that. Those are both very legitimate reasons to not share the actual date of the surgery. I still fall back on, like, we the audience don't need to know the exact dates at all, period. Anna's the one that put the fake dates out there, right? Anna's the one that's, like, been teasing the dates of her surgeries and then trying to hide them because they're not the dates she gives. And it's like, just don't say anything. Like, you don't have to tell us what the dates of your surgery are. You can really just come on here and be like, hey, I just had surgery 3, you know, here's some videos from last week when I had the surgery performed, right? It's fine. I don't think anybody's going to hold it against her. I don't particularly think pre-recording video content, especially when you're somebody like Anna, who puts out fairly regular content, but is also very active in travel and now the surgery. You know, it's fine to have pre-recorded stuff. I wouldn't say she should post a video today that she recorded, like, last year. That would be a bit much. But if she knows she's going into surgery and she knows that surgery is going to knock her out for about a week in recovery, it's perfectly acceptable to be recording stuff, you know, months ahead of time so that she has something to post while she's in recovery, right? It's fine. It's the trying to hide the date thing, and only because she's the one dropping hints about the dates. Nobody's digging these up. She's doing this herself and then badly covering it up. And it's done so poorly that I kind of wonder if she didn't do it on purpose. Anna obviously has been known to troll her audience. Bagelgate is a perfect example of this, where at the end of it, she's, like, smugly eating a dozen pumpernickel bagels because you win, Anna. But she did that specifically to troll her audience, because she wasn't getting the reaction she wanted to Bagelgate, or her 2-mile walk to get a bagel in New York.
So one of the things I've had a lot of questions about is what it's actually like post-surgery. And to be entirely candid, I did a ton of research before I went into
No, she didn't. I'm starting to pick up on her lie zones, and no, she didn't.
surgery to try to prepare myself. And that research did not serve me
Because you didn't actually do the research. If Anna put the same amount of time and effort into researching what post-liposuction recovery is going to be like as she put into her book, no wonder you were ill-prepared for the spectacular A-type that you claim to be. You are spectacularly bad at research.
because what I've learned is everybody's recovery experience is going to be a little bit different based on your body.
She does this thing when she's telling stories. This is a story time for Anna, right? This is real time Anna. This is today's Anna, right? And she's going to be using clips from her past surgeries, right? So she does this thing. I've noticed it in every video she does where she's basically doing story time. And she does it when she's trying to convince the audience of something in particular. Usually it's when she's like, everybody's different, your mileage may vary, kind of a thing. And she's usually doing that because she's having a harder time with whatever it is than someone who isn't 600 pounds would be having, right? But in Anna's world, her weight has nothing to do with why her life is so difficult. But she does this thing where she's like, you know, she tips her head and she leans into the camera. Everybody's recovery time is different. It's just something that she does. I'm not entirely sure what it is, why she does it, but it is. It's kind of a, she leans in, she tips her head. Let me see if I can back it up and catch it one more time.
Because what I've learned is everybody's recovery experience is going to be a little bit different.
There she is.
And that research did not serve me, because what I've learned
Did not serve me.
is everybody's recovery.
Here she is. Everybody's recovery time. She's turning her head, shrugging, and then leaning in. So it's just an interesting tick that she does. She did it also with that research didn't serve me kind of a thing. It's usually she's doing it when she's pointing out that whatever this is was difficult for her, right? And it's before, she never does this after she gets negative. This is pre-negativeness. Anyway, let's go.
Different based on your body, based on your lifestyle, based on just a lot of things. But
Like being morbidly obese?
what I can share with you is how my journey went, and hopefully it will help you feel more comfortable, or at least more prepared for your own journey. So the first 24 hours.
Anna's big push through all of this has been convincing her audience to also take this journey. At the end of this, she also wraps up with the whole, like, she wants to be a lipedema superhero that convinces other women to go get lipedema treatment, aka liposuction. And that's been the ongoing theme from the beginning of these videos that she's been doing, especially when she's with Dr. Amron, is trying to convince her audience to go get liposuction done, specifically through Dr. Amron.
Hours after surgery, I felt freaking great. Guys, I am one day out of surgery, and I am dancing with my nurse. Sexy. Hey. So intelligent.
First in my mind.
And I don't know how I feel this good, but it's like a lot of pain is gone, and I feel freaking amazing.
No shade to the nurse, or not a ton of shade to the nurse, but Anna's clearly still hopped up on the anesthesia here and whatever pain meds they gave her. She claims she didn't have any, but then later on she backtracks that and she says that she did have pain meds, so no one should be surprised. My point is she whips out this camera and she's like, I'm gonna record. You're the only, like, lucid person in the room. Brush her hair. Just brush her hair. This entire time, she just never brushes her hair. And I know she's not allowed to shower post-surgery. I don't know why they do that, but they do that. I wasn't even allowed to shower, and I had nothing like this. But it's just, that doesn't mean you can't brush your hair. I don't get it.
And I just want to move. And that was for a couple of reasons. One, I still had a lot of drugs in my body. And let's just be honest about that. You don't just magically not have anesthesia anymore when they stop putting it in your body.
Yeah, they told me that I was going to have mine in my system for like 24 hours. And I think mine was more like 48. But yeah, they're not kidding. You really do feel the effects of it the next day as well.
It does linger for a little while. Additionally, I went into surgery with a lot of pain. I was kind of limping when walking.
You still limp when you walk. We've seen videos of you post-surgery. Post this surgery and post your second surgery. And you're still limping when you walk.
I went into surgery. So having a lot of that fibrosis removed from my knee actually made my pain post-surgery less than it was going into surgery. And what was really wild is I felt that almost immediately.
I will say this. I have a friend who got back surgery done because they were having some very intense back pain. And I know they said that after they came out of the surgery, after they wake you back up, they wanted them to walk to prove that they could still walk, and then they had to go to the bathroom. And I was like, so how did your back feel? And they were like, I didn't have any pain. And I said, was that because you were still hopped up, or was that like you literally didn't have pain anymore? And apparently it really was that quick of a pain relief. Like they didn't feel that pain that they went in for the surgery for, which I guess means the surgery was a success. So there is that. It is entirely possible that Anna was feeling a great deal of pain, and the surgery alleviated that pain because, again, that's supposedly what the surgery was meant to do. Alleviate the pain, whatever, the pain, and also remove the lipedema tissue from her thighs, or yeah, her outer thighs.
Even just the flexibility of my knee was greater. So I think it made my first 24 hours just like really great because my pain tolerance was physically accustomed to something much more unbearable. So the pain I was feeling was like, meh, nothing. One thing that they kind of prepare you for is that the first...
Why does her sound so weird? Like it fades in and out. It gets muffled and then it clears back up again. It's weird. It does it several times throughout this video.
48 hours past your surgery, you need help. Now that either needs to be a friend or a family member, or you can hire a CNA to kind of help you with everything.
I like how she presents this as if she ordered the CNA because that was the better choice to make. Like she had options and the CNA was who she went with. I don't think she did, though. I don't think she did. I don't think she had a friend or a family member that was willing to basically literally hand and foot babysit her for several days while she recovered. So I think her only option was the CNA.
I chose a nurse and I'm very glad that I did. Now in the first 48 hours, I leaked a lot, and especially in the first 24. Like there were times where I just sat on the bed and water just gushed out of me.
I'm very confused about the leaking, as disgusting as it is. She had like micro incisions, right? He just made like little micro incisions on her leg. He did do multiples of them. Is she saying that those little micro incisions were basically just like shooting water out or something? Or is her entire, or is like the skin of her legs weeping? Because I've seen that. I've seen that firsthand. But that's usually due to like swelling and the water's trying to escape any way it can get out. It's really not fun for anybody. But she's making it sound like she's like a popped water balloon or something like that. It's really weird. I can't visualize it, I guess. Or maybe I don't want to visualize it because it does sound kind of gross.
One of the things that was very hard for me in the first 24 hours is that I could not be alone. There was someone kind of watching over me all the time. When I had to get up, if I had to go to the bathroom, I could not go to the bathroom alone. I had to have someone help me to the bathroom. And that's just because I'm a fall risk. I have a lot of stuff in my body. I'm leaking. You just have to make sure you're safe. With that, I also did a lot of movement in the first 24.
She mentions she's a fall risk, and I know she's trying to insinuate she's a fall risk because of all the drugs in her system that were still there from the surgery. I hate to break it to you, Anna. You're a fall risk because you're 600 pounds and you don't walk correctly to begin with. They're probably terrified if you go down, you're not coming back up. And to be frank, I've seen the nurse that you stayed with, and she seemed like a very lovely lady. But there's no way in hell she's picking you up off the floor. You know, that's just, she's basically there to just call for the reinforcements to come get you because that woman was not picking you up.
4 hours. When I shared this on Instagram, a lot of people reacted like, oh my goodness, you should be resting. And actually, no, you should not be resting. You also shouldn't be running a marathon. But in the first 24 hours and really through the rest of your recovery, movement is really important. And that's low impact, simple movement like walking. For me, we ended up putting on some good tunes. And because I was leaking, it was really difficult to like go for a walk, especially that first 24 hours, you're just leaking a lot. So we just put on some tunes and I stood literally over a pad and I just did this shuffle back and forth, which was like walking, but also like dancing. So whatever the music was, I just kind of danced to the beat. And honestly, it was fun.
Does that look like the face of a person who was having fun? Does it then? Couple things. I don't for a minute believe that they wanted her to go walk within the first 24. I mean, I know they wanted her moving in the first 24 hours, but Anna's making it sound like she needed to go walk miles. And I seem to recall that she posted a TikTok that wasn't too long after her recovery. Maybe it was the second 24 hours or something like that, where she pushed herself to walk 1 or 2 miles, something like that, and couldn't because I imagine she was A, exhausted, and B, in pain. But she was pushing herself to... She was pushing herself, basically, while in recovery. I don't think that's what they want her doing as well, if that makes sense. So... Anna just always has to, like, appear to be overachieving. Not actually overachieve, right? Not actually overachieve. She has to appear to be trying to overachieve. That's Anna's MO. And then she can be like, I'm an overachiever. And it's like, no, you play act one. You've yet to actually achieve.
24 hours after surgery, you get your first manual lymphatic drainage. We're going to get our manual lymphatic drainage.
And you still can't brush your hair?
And that is where they basically help your lymphatic system
She looks so tired right now, though. She really does.
process all the inflammation so it can naturally just like come out of you.
Ready? Ready.
Hopefully. I feel fantastic.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
That's Dr. Amron's staff filming her for their own purposes, because every video of Anna that they post on their Instagram gets like quadruple million more views than their regular videos get. And that includes the videos that they did with the first influencer.
I like that you're drinking.
Oh, we are 2 liters in today.
Oh, awesome.
We did 3 liters yesterday.
She braided her hair? But how do you braid your hair without brushing it? It does bother me a lot. Also, why is this random woman in this shot? Why did you not blur her face out? You are in a medical facility. Whatever.
That is awesome. I love it.
This is Pearl, who you guys just met.
Hi.
And she's going to be doing my manual lymphatic drainage, which is going to help like activate my lymphatic system and help me process all the extra juicy that's inside of me. So it's going to get a little nasty. I'm been a nasty girl, but it's going to make me feel fantastic. I already feel really great. So
Right, which is awesome.
This is a really interesting moment.
Like I'm living my best life. That's where I'm at right now.
Yes. It's a whole new beginning.
Well, I think it's because I was
it.
in a lot of pain before. So whatever I'm in right now, like, is not comparable to like what I was previously.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole change for
like
you.
it's amazing. So
What was interesting in that moment is that Anna is, I guess, excited, and it just talks over this woman. Now, I know they're mostly just making like music references, but it strikes me that Anna is the kind of person that just talks over people. She just bulldozes over people when they're in a conversation. Like, do you ever actually have a conversation with Anna, or does Anna just talk at you until it's your turn to talk, right? And then doesn't actually listen. She's just thinking about what she's going to say next when you stop talking and it's her turn to talk again, right?
over the next kind of like 4 days, that's how I lived, right? Get up in the morning, go to MLD. Sometimes I would have bandaging, sometimes I don't. And I'm gonna be doing a whole video on bandaging, so I'm not gonna talk on it right here. I would also pretty much wake up, go for a walk, go to MLD, come home and sleep, go for another walk if I could. But I was making sure to eat regular meals and just drink so much water. And honestly, if you want to recover well, that would be the one thing I would say is just drink as much water as you possibly can. It will feel like too much. It is never enough. So we had some big firsts this morning. I took Data for a walk, which was really nice. And now I'm gonna go eat breakfast out of the hotel room, which I've been literally living in that for the last couple days and I'm over it.
It looks like it.
So I'm gonna go try to rejoin society and have a delicious breakfast, but still drink my electrolytes because I'm not allowed to have any fun juice. I miss coffee.
I would miss some kind of caffeine. We'd be sneaking in some tea there.
Okay, so I've done it. I've come down to breakfast.
I'm not slamming her appearance because it doesn't, that actually is not the point. The point is like, she is so disheveled. This entire, all of these little clips, she's so disheveled. When all she had to do was just run a comb through her hair. So this has to be on purpose. She has to be doing this on purpose so that she looks like this, right? This is an intentional look. And on the one hand, I'm like, why would you want to be seen like this on the internet? And then on the other hand, I'm like, it's a way of garnering sympathy. Oh my God, you guys, look at how rough I look. Look how bad I look. Look how tired I am. There is no reason for her to look... Okay, there's no reason for her hair to be like this, right? This is intentional. It has to be. And it has to be being done specifically to evoke emotions from the audience, right?
And I am sitting upright, like in an upright position for the first time in 3 days, and it feels actually really good. So I'm gonna try to do more of this. I might try to clear up that bench in the room and try to like sit in the bench and work, which is sad, but you know what? It's something to keep me upright, but I feel good. I feel really good. After I kind of got...
I don't know if her sound's cutting out or if my headset's cutting out, but if there's like some hiccups in the sound, especially from her video, I apologize.
For this process, I got to the point where A, I could care for myself, and B, I was ready for my first shower. Showering for the first time, it is a whole thing. That is the easiest way to say it, is a whole thing.
I can't tell if showering for the first time is a whole thing or if Anna made it a whole thing.
First of all, you've been in compression for 24/7, and anytime you've been out of it, you've been with nurses who are helping you in and out of the garment, okay?
The garment that was too small.
You are a faint risk. And probably the most common thing I see post-surgeries that people talk about is fainting, taking off the garment for the first shower. Luckily, I was prepared for this and I knew how to do it so I wouldn't faint.
Good. I imagine fainting is probably a thing of concern because as I understand, these compression garments are like medical grade. So they're basically like corsets, and they're like corsets for your whole body. So fainting when coming out of a corset back in the Victorian era was a well-known thing. Like you literally had a piece of furniture called a fainting couch, and that's exactly what it was for. So you don't have to work hard to sell me on that one. I just think the rest of the process is just Anna being Anna.
So I'll just tell you what I did. Hopefully it'll work for you too. First, drink a whole bunch of water 2 hours before you actually plan to shower. A lot of the fainting risk is due to dehydration and also changes in blood pressure, and you can just help yourself mitigate that by drinking a lot of water. When I took my garment off, I took it off slowly and I immediately laid down. I did not go directly to the shower.
She did post a short where she was laying down and she was clearly undressed. And she was saying that the reason she was there is because she was getting ready to take her first shower. I think the whole thing was about the first shower. And she was like, yeah, I'm laying down so I don't faint. As far as I understand, she didn't faint, so...
I laid down for about 10 minutes to let my body just stabilize to not having the garment on.
Really?
Once I had been rested for about 10 minutes, I then went to the shower. I showered.
She has rehearsed this. And I know she's rehearsed it because of that whole, like... After that, I did X, Y, and Z.
Cold as hell water. Like as cold as you can possibly get it. If you're not screaming when you get under the water coming down, you're not doing it right.
I mean, cold therapy is a thing, but...
A, it's going to keep you awake. B, it's going to work with your lymphatic system, not piss it off, because hot water really can make your body angry. And you'll see often with autoimmune disorders, bathing in cold water is ideal, right?
I imagine you probably could have gotten away with just, like, cool water. But, you know, it's Anna.
Right? So, took a shower in cold water, immediately went back to bed. Immediately went back.
Literally no one is surprised.
And laid down. I did not try to put my garment on right away. I dried off in bed, laying down, prostrate like this.
Okay. If your body's stable, if your body's stabilized enough that you can stand in a shower, particularly a cold one where you put yourself through shock, it's so cold, I'm willing to bet you're probably not going to pass out after that. Like, but whatever. I don't know. I've never, to my knowledge, I've never fainted. So
drinking water. Drink the water.
You were drinking water while you were laying prone?
Always the water. And then once I was dry and I felt okay, like I hadn't expended too much energy, I sat and put my compression garments on to my knees, rested again, and pulled them all the way up.
Okay.
Then, you know what I did right after that?
You rested?
I rested some more. So the key to not fainting is just very slowly going through the process. As you heal, this actual procedure isn't necessary, but in the
I don't think it was necessary to begin with, but that's me.
first 10 days, if you're going to shower, this probably is what you should do. I took my first shower at day 4, and I followed the same strategy when I showered again, I think on day 7.
You had a nurse with you, right? Like, couldn't you have asked them at any point, hey, what can I do to not faint? I mean, I'm willing to bet they probably have some ideas.
And day 10. After day 10, I no longer kind of followed all this protocol. One thing I'm going to definitely do different in my next surgeries is prep my bed before I go, because it's really hard when you've pushed yourself on, you know, your first airline travel, which does like make you swell, to come home, be tired, be sore, be exhausted, and then also have to put together your bed. A typical bed preparing, if you're still leaking, is a plastic sheet, and then you...
I was so confused by this because it looks like her bed is made, like has the comforter on here, and she's like putting everything on top of the comforter. What I mean, I guess you don't want to get the actual comforter dirty, I guess. I don't know. It was just weird in my opinion, but hey, it's Anna.
Using different pee pads on top.
I love how she's just calling them pee pads. I mean, that's what they are. She was calling them something else earlier, and now they're just pee pads.
I leaked for about 2 days after when I came home. Some people leak for a very long time. Some people heal very quickly. It just depends on your body.
Anna is a super healer, so she, of course, only needed 2 days to completely heal all the way. You guys, super healer, super healer.
One of the hardest things that I would say you need to do, and you need to do this well before your surgery, is to find a massage therapist with the right credentials to actually do your bandaging and your MLD therapy after.
And who also has like a strong connection with the woo.
I luckily found an amazing person, Leah from Love Lymph Club. If you don't follow her and you want to learn about lymphatics, she's amazing and I absolutely adore her.
I'm good.
And it has really been an amazing part of my journey this far. So finding that specialist before and making sure you get on their calendar, I would do it as soon as you know you have the surgery date, honestly, because there's far more demand for these services than there are actual practitioners.
I imagine that's true. I just came from the doctor myself, and I've got like 3 more appointments I need to make, and all of them are made 1 to 2 months in advance because all of that's just the earliest they have available.
That's what I found. So just get on a calendar as soon as you can. One thing I didn't know about the bandages, because my bandages did not fall down while I was recovering in the first week, is when they fall down is when you can change your garment.
She put a TikTok out about this one too, as I recall. She was like, oh my God, you guys, my bandages are falling off. That means, I forget what it means, but she went back and got bandaged again.
So I had a literal panic attack the first time my bandages fell, because I was like, what is going on? And Leah was like, no, don't stress. That just means it's time for you to switch back into regular compression. Additionally, I was supposed to walk, but not too much, which is also a hard thing, right? Like I'm used to walking a lot.
Try not to roll your eyes too hard during this section. Anna once again has to remind us about what an active girly she is.
It's an important part of my day.
It's not. Look at her. It's not. Anna has one fairly defined lie zone, and it's this area here. She's like Amber. She'll dip down here, and this is recollection. Anna lies here. But she also has a similar spot over here that she'll go into, but it's also real close to her like memory area. So I'm not entirely sure, but this is a lie zone.
So I was literally having to schedule 1/4-mile walks 4 times a day. And I'm going to tell you what, it's just not very fulfilling. I'd rather just do a mile walk, right?
To get a bagel?
Or 2 miles walk.
To get another bagel?
But the point is that you're trying to get your lymphatic system moving every time you walk. And if you're doing it just once a day, well, then you aren't getting as much of that movement because you're only moving it once a day. So
you gotta move it.
Better to do multiple short walks than one long walk.
You own a dog, who I assume lives with you. There's some debate. You would need to do multiple walks a day anyway, unless ye old pee pads are being used for the dog as well, which, according to some stories I've seen, would not be far-fetched, but...
So, we're going to take a walk. This is both my favorite and least favorite thing I do each day because it feels good, but also it's so hot. So this is where...
This is interesting because... This clip being in the past is interesting because Anna recently posted something on Threads that we'll go check out in a minute, but complaining about how the Texas power grid went down and she was trapped in the heat. And this is a big deal because heat isn't good for someone recovering from surgery. And I don't think she's wrong about that, but you know, Anna, everything's about her. But here, we're still in recovery, and yet we're out walking in Texas heat. We had a heat wave, and it was unfucking believable. I can only imagine what the Texas heat was like. And Anna's like, I'm going to go walk out in it 4 times a day. But your power grid goes down, and now you're in danger? Which is it, Anna? Is heat bad for your recovery, or is it good for your recovery?
I walk and I love it because it's got all these wildflowers. So even though it's hot and terrible, at least I get to look at something pretty while I'm doing it. Plus, Data loves this because it's like a sniff safari. He walks slow so I can keep up, and I think it's...
Oh, that pisses me off. Put your goddamn dog on a leash, Anna. Does he even have a harness? Guys, I hate when people walk their dogs without leashes. I hate it. In public areas like this, and it's not a dog park, there are spaces that are for dogs to be off leash. Most of the time when I see a dog off leash, they're not in a space where they're supposed to be. Why doesn't it surprise me that Anna doesn't walk her dog on a leash?
It's the cutest thing ever. It's okay, buddy. You can go ahead. Week 4.
No, he can't. That dog has better manners than you do. That dog has better training than you do. God, Anna.
Is where you kind of get your life back. But what kind of sucks for me is I know I'm going back into another surgery, right? So I don't really get to resume everything because I also need to prep and prepare for the next surgery. So that means not pushing myself too hard that I get sick or that I'm not in the best physical shape for my next surgery.
Why would you normally be pushing yourself so hard that you get sick anyway? That's like, if you're counterproductive. Like, what would be the point of regularly pushing yourself to the point where you're physically ill afterwards? Like, okay, doesn't that just mean you're going to be down recovering in between bouts of pushing yourself to the extreme? You know?
But what I did choose to do during week 4, which I think was really, really smart, was to find creative ways to move, right? To start introducing movement that maybe had been off limits due to the intensity or the length before, but in ways that still met my protocol. So
that whole section was just weird babbling. She's already established up to this point that walking is something that they want her to do. They don't want her running a marathon, but they do want her up and walking and moving. And not just because of her lymphatic, they probably also are a little concerned about blood clots and that kind of a thing. So she's already established that she needs to be walking, right? And of course, Anna is a distance queen. Anna can walk for days without pausing. So why this all of a sudden? Why that whole word salad all of a sudden to show us what she's getting ready to show us?
I started finding fun places to walk, things like the mall, Michael's, Costco, Walmart. And you know what? You can waste a lot of time and walk slowly and see lots of weird things that you don't need and then subsequently buy because, again, you're emotional.
No, you're emotional. Quit projecting your weird inability to regulate your emotions and your mood swings onto other people, Anna. Just because you do it doesn't mean we're all doing it, right?
And you don't have the same self-control you normally have. And that became really fun for me. I also loved when
I love shopping too. I think it's fun as well.
my incisions healed because then I was able to go into the pool. Did I have to wear compression under my swimsuit? Yes.
I'm confused about the compression under her swimsuit thing because, again, going back to Jordan Underwood, when Jordan was outside of their wrappings and their compression, that was the only time they were allowed to be out of their compression garments 1 hour a day, and that hour they were supposed to be in the pool because the water from the pool apparently simulates the pressure of the garments. That was what Jordan said. And Jordan had miraculous success without surgery treating their lipedema. They had lympholipedema, whatever. They had the both. Anna also has both of them. She just only talks about her lipedema. So I'm confused in this moment why Anna had to have her compression garments on when she went into the pool and Jordan didn't, but it could just be a difference in the treatment the doctors are recommending. So it could just that's all it could be. It could also be that Anna just has to be extra at all points.
But being in the pool was the most magical thing for me because it felt like getting a piece of what I love most back. And really one of the reasons I'm doing these surgeries is to be able to be outside and explore nature more. So it's not exactly what.
When did you stop doing that? Like, literally, you were on cruises up to the moment you got your first surgery. And then during recovery from your first surgery, you were on Threads talking about how you're booking vacations to go to faraway distances. I think she's going to Prague or something like that, or is trying to find tickets to Prague.
What I wanted, but it gave me the ability to be outside, to feel the sun on me. And I did feel like a massive mood shift when I could be in the sun again.
They have shown that sunlight improves your mood, so, you know, that's not a big deal. What difference does it make? Does the sunlight in the pool, is it somehow more beneficial than the sunlight when you're walking? You know?
Around 4 weeks, I found myself like a lot more mentally clear as well. So a lot of that fuzziness that I had before kind of started to, dissipate. And I also found myself thinking of ways to like sustain what I'd done. So I started looking into more like conservative treatments and things like that. So,
all the things you should have been doing before. She also admits this later on in this video. She admits that she should have been doing these things before.
I got one of those vibration boards. I got a trampoline. Obviously, I'd been on a waiting list for.
Got a trampoline? What is it with you and not jumping? Like, all right, whatever. RIP your knees.
A tactile pump, which is like the big pump that goes on your.
Yes. We all recall watching you hit on this poor man insufferably for almost 3 minutes. Yes, we remember this moment. And then in one of your infamous walks around Walmart, you picked up a magic 8-ball and asked if he was your soulmate. If I were this dude, I would never answer the phone. I would have blocked your number and swore off anything that got me close to your social media. This poor man.
Your legs and mimics MLD that you use every day. So I got fit for that. So I started really facing the fact that my lifestyle for the rest of my life was going to have to change.
And yet, if you had just done all of these things before you considered surgery, there's a strong possibility you might not have needed to get surgery.
That was really positive in some ways, but also very difficult. And I think, I'm going to be honest, I was a little delusional. I went into surgery with the mental thought that once all the surgeries would be.
The mental thought. As opposed to the emotional thought, I guess.
Be done, I would be magically healed and I would not have to do all of the things I was doing previously. And that is just not the reality.
I want to replay that part again, just so we all hear it clearly.
I went into surgery with the mental thought that once all the surgeries would be done, I would be magically healed and I would not have to do all of the things I was doing previously. And that is just not the reality. So
it's almost like everybody who was telling you that the surgery is not going to fix the overarching problem, it's almost like all of them were like, I don't know, like correct. So people calling you out and basically saying, hey, this surgery is not going to fix your lipedema. It's not going to heal you of lipedema. It's not going to make your lipedema go away. All of those people, it's almost as if they were telling you the truth. Weird.
That 4-week period, I started making plans for long-term care. What I would need to do, what I would need to invest in. And I want people to realize that like, that is a very emotionally difficult journey. I don't think
And I can't do a video where she doesn't cry or tear up or look like she's going to start crying. We are now entering that moment of the video.
I can do it justice in this video, but I think when
I think I'm going to make another video where I actually cry.
you get the diagnosis, you hear about surgery, and you think that's my magical solution.
Okay, sure.
But it is literally only the beginning of how your life is going to have to change.
Just the beginning, the beginning, the beginning of the middle of the...
In managing this. And I was doing other conservative treatments before.
You were not.
I know I didn't always share it on camera. And
Because you weren't doing it. There you go. You weren't doing
There
it.
was a reason I didn't share it on camera.
Which would be what? Why would you not share that on camera? You share damn near everything else. Why would you not share that? Oh, because you weren't doing it. But now you're going to claim that you weren't sharing it because reasons. Because I guess you didn't want to appear to be suffering from the consequences of your obesity.
And I don't really give a crap what anyone says about it, but the reality is I wasn't comfortable being the poster child for lipedema. I knew as soon as I started
But now you are?
talking about how I treated it or lived with it or how it affected my life, that I would get a sticker slapped on my forehead. I did not feel informed enough to educate people.
When has that stopped you? You couldn't even make it all the way through one of your co-pilot workouts one day, and yet still in that same video offered to demonstrate another workout if people were interested in seeing it. Which I'm going to guess people weren't, because we never saw another workout from you.
And I just felt overwhelmed with the condition itself. I have many, many clips over the years of literally me crying, begging
I believe that.
John to turn the camera off because I hurt, because I've swollen. I have videos of me bandaging my leg in a hotel, which was like 3 years ago in Hawaii because my leg swelled.
So one time in 3 years, you wrapped, I'm guessing she means wrapped her leg because it swelled up. And she's talking about the trip she took to Hawaii where it took her, she tried to climb to the top of a cliff or a mountain or something up a set of stairs, and she couldn't even make it halfway. I believe that's the one she's talking about. And apparently her legs swelled up from that. I bet they did, actually.
That also happened in various other places. So I've
Various other places that I'm not going to mention because it didn't happen.
been traveling with compression. I have been
You've been traveling with compression?
doing a lot of these things for a while. And
No, you haven't. No, you
I
haven't.
would say not everything, clearly not
Not everything,
everything,
obviously.
because there's a lot of things I've had to add.
Like all of it.
But I thought I can deal with these things. I've been doing them for years, but to know
No, you haven't.
that even that,
You didn't even own compression socks. You have an entire video where you're bemoaning the fact that the compression socks don't fit because you ordered them wrong. And then you rushed to order a pair from Amazon and you were hoping that they would fit, and thank God they fit. And they're cosmetic compression socks. They're not even medical grade compression socks. You didn't own those before. You purchased them then, and you didn't even know what you were doing. So it's not like you were replacing something. No, Anna, you're lying.
even the compression and the bandaging and the socks
That one time 3 years ago that you bandaged your leg. That one time.
and the changes in my diet.
I'm sorry. I forgot that she's a protein girly. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that that Anna eats more protein than bodybuilders at this point.
And, you know, the Wegovy, which helped with inflammation for me.
Yeah, that's the only reason you were on the Wegovy, I'm sure. Even though you did an entire commercial about how you were doing weight loss and shit.
That was
whatever.
still only 25%. Having to deal with all of this with the added pressure of people having a ton of opinions about my choices.
And here's where she starts getting really irritated. And the tone of the video shifts and we get to the end and she's just like, I'm not going to say peace anymore.
My journey, what I have and have not done.
Because you documented that?
It sucks. Frankly, it sucks. But I believe educating people on this journey and educating people about this condition is important.
No offense, Anna. When I want to know more about lipedema, I will not come to you. I will not come to Dr. Amron. I will go to a million other people before I will come to either of the two of you for good, valid information about lipedema and treatments for lipedema. No, I'm sorry. If anything, I have learned the two of you are some of the least reliable sources for information about that. Dr. Amron really does just talk psychobabble all day long. He's just wooing out his butt there. and you ate it up because you get your free surgery that is magically turning you into a Barbie doll. Little miss, it's been 7 years since I've been able to wear these jeans. You know what I did with the jeans that I couldn't wear 7 years ago? I got rid of them and bought new ones. Okay. Anyway, the other part of that is you were just so excited that you could fit into those jeans from 7 years ago. You had to make a TikTok about it. But it's not about weight loss, you guys. It's not about weight loss. It's not. Even though you were in a pink outfit talking about how for the first time you could fit these pants on over your legs, even though you couldn't do that before. But it's not about weight loss. It's not about weight loss, you guys.
Because I am stage 4. That is bad. And I hope that I can help women who are in stage 2 get treatment before they have to deal with all the bullshit I have to deal with. Because candidly, if I had dealt with this 10 years ago, I may not have to do all these extra things. But now my life and my abilities are going to be diminished. And that is a hard thing for me to swallow. I am still holding out for the fact that maybe I have some miracle recovery, but
I believe that. I believe that you're still delusional. So it's almost as if those 3 doctors that you mentioned going to, who all told you to do the same thing, including weight loss and diet changing, it's almost as if all 3 of those people knew what they were talking about all this time. It's almost as if you had done the things that your doctors had told you, one of which you admit was an obesity specialist, it's almost as if you'd followed what they had said, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be in this condition right now. I mean, you're the one that said that. I'm just repeating what you said. I wonder if she hears herself. Whatever.
I may not. And that's because I didn't deal with it sooner. And I also am very aware that because of the way healthcare works in not only the US, but many other countries.
Our healthcare system here in the States is, there's not a single person who's actually pleased with it. And if they are, I don't, you must have magical insurance. I don't know how you're happy about it. But anyway, this is not the healthcare system's problem. Don't make me stand up for the healthcare system, all right? They're not the big bad villain that everybody wants them to be, but at the same time, you are not a result of the US healthcare system. You're just not. You have never been in a position where you couldn't afford healthcare. It's just, you've never been there. You've always been in a position of privilege where you could afford healthcare, and as far as I've understood, you have always lived in cities where access to healthcare is actually pretty abundant, right? So you have never had a reason, you cannot blame your conditions on the US healthcare system. All right. For the first time ever, I will not allow you to blame your current condition on the US healthcare system. It's just not their fault this time.
Many people are not able to manage their condition. And I also hope that by making videos like this, that changes as well.
Anna's a superhero, y'all. She's the superhero we need, not the superhero we want.
And I hope to be an advocate for that to change, because it's frankly ridiculous.
I don't want you advocating for me.
That our healthcare system will pay for gastric bypass, will pay for knee replacement, will pay for vein surgery.
It's crazy that our healthcare system will pay for something that will actually allow you to lose weight and allow you to walk again. And I don't know what vein surgery does, but I assume it does something important. It's amazing that our healthcare system will pay for all of that, but they won't pay to have the fat sucked off of you. Anna, you went to 3 separate doctors who all gave you the same advice. This is by her own admission. The same advice for treating your lipedema. You've known you've had lipedema for a very long time at this point, right? At least 3 years, if not more. Where were you failed by the US healthcare system? You were given non-surgical treatments. You were offered, it sounds like you were offered weight loss surgery. You were on Wegovy. Do you know how hard it is to gain weight while taking these drugs? They literally make you so nauseous that you can't eat. You have to force feed yourself in order to gain weight on the GLP-1s, right? And yet, Anna is the product of neglect from the U.S. healthcare system. I'm going to keep saying the U.S. one because she and I are both from the U.S., so... No, Anna. You are the direct result of giving up on weight loss, of being obese for 4 decades. You admit in your book that you were a very large child. You are the product of chronic obesity, chronic acceptable obesity in the United States, not the US healthcare system. Maybe there is someone out there who is the result of the US healthcare system, because again, it's our healthcare system, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's good, because it's not. But you are not the poster child. You are not the advocate. You're not the hero that whoever that person who got failed by our healthcare system needs. It's one of those situations where Anna has to make herself, she's got to insert herself in here. She's got to make herself a victim. And then she's got to show you how she has risen above her victimhood by becoming the advocate that the lipedema world needs.
When they literally could just treat the root problem, which is lipedema.
They tried to treat your root problem, Anna. They gave you treatments. They probably gave you diet and exercise advice.
So there's a lot of things I'm sure I didn't answer. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. And I will be talking about this throughout my surgery, so I can definitely
leave a comment down below so I can ignore it completely like I always do, or delete it if I don't like it.
answer them. But with that, guys, I'm done. I'll check you later. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And you know what? I was going to say peace, but I feel like that is super lame now. I'm over it. I've grown beyond the peace. So you know what? I'm just going to say have a nice day. Have a nice day.
Have the day that you deserve. I said good day. Okay. So what we have watched is Anna, you know, being the queen of spin. She's trying to get out there. She has received so much negative pushback and so much negative feedback from the part of her lipedema's journey that she has shared up to this point that she has felt compelled to try to grab hold of that narrative before it gets too far out of her control. And that's what this video is about. This is about Anna trying to take the reins back. Like she mentioned a couple times, you know, people on the internet who have opinions. Well, I mean, it's the internet. It's made up of assholes and opinions. So that's clearly something that's been bothering her and clearly something that's been on her mind. And I think that's the whole point of this video. Yes, Anna desperately wants to be an advocate superhero for whatever. She's tried to be an advocate for so many things over the past, and this is just her current thing that she's advocating for, is her lipedema and other people with lipedema. But this is just Anna, one, responding to the criticism she's been receiving, and she didn't really address any of them, honestly. She's completely swept all of the criticisms under the rug. Like they you know, she's like, oh, leave your comments down below and I'll address them. No, she will not. Don't waste your time. And this is, and now she's trying, and then the last part of it is her trying to spin everything, you know, like, oh, if the healthcare system just would treat the root problem of lipedema. You mean obesity? Gee, if only the healthcare system was trying to do something about obesity, man, that would be great, wouldn't it? Trying to blame the healthcare system for her not getting treatment sooner. She's been diagnosed. She was given a treatment plan. She's known this for years. Where did the healthcare system fail, Anna? You have admitted in roundabout ways more than once at this point that you did not do any of the stuff that you were told to do, and you've only started doing it since you've been receiving surgery. But for some reason, she thinks if she makes a video like this and she just insists that she has been doing all of these things and just tries to like rewrite the past. I've got clips, you guys. I've got all of these clips of all these times that I did these things that I'm not going to share with you, but trust me, that video exists somewhere in your imagination. And that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to curate her image, which she always does. She's trying to get a hold of her narrative because it's getting a little out of her control. A little bit. I don't think she's completely lost the reins yet, but she's definitely like wobbling on the line. And I think this is one of the first times that she's really had to deal with this level of criticism and scrutiny. Because Anna wasn't always part of Girl World. She's always had people who have been critical of her, but it's only been maybe the last year, maybe 2 years, that reactors have really started to take notice and really started to go all in with her. And I don't think she's used to that yet, right? So that, I think, is what this is. This is her pushing back on her trolls. This is her trying to regain control of her narrative. This is her trying to curate the image that she has. You know, now she's a lipedema warrior. She's not immobile because she's obese. She's immobile because she's got lipedema, you guys. She has no more burnable fat on her. It's all lipedema. And anyway, so this is just kind of, what do they call it? Damage control. This is a damage control video, right? She hasn't really done anything too controversial lately, like with the exception of the surgery. Like, she hasn't stuck her foot in her mouth recently or anything like that. Like with the running, you know, the accusing the woman on the run of dehumanizing her or going to Target and trashing the store. She hasn't done anything like that lately. She did kind of go to Trader Joe's, and she's clearly still feeling the effects of the anesthesia, and she went shopping at Trader Joe's. A terrible idea. I can't believe the nurse let her do that, but there we are. It wasn't bad or anything, but you can clearly tell that she's like, A, super excited to be in a grocery store, and B, not all there right at the moment. But this is the update that Anna has given us on her first part of her lipedema surgery story. She's posted a few clips of her second set of surgeries, or surgery, and she's not posting as much about the surgery as she did the first one. And I think, again, that's honestly her reacting to the negative feedback that she received when she posted about the first one. And lost that train of thought. Anyway, so because she's not posting as much about the second surgery, and she's being, you know, in the little cat and mouse game with the video dates and that kind of thing. Again, I don't care that she's pre-recording and that kind of thing, and I don't care if she doesn't share the dates with us. Just don't give us fake dates either. That's what makes it seem weird. The fake date. Just come home from surgery one day. It's fine. No one's gonna hold it against you. Or if they do, you've got thicker skin than that, Anna, as you continuously remind us. All right. Yeah, I think at this point we've pretty much kind of chewed this over. I'm still kind of unraveling Anna's body language over time. I mean, she's pretty repetitive actually with her body language, so I figure we're getting there. So I know we're a couple of her dishonesty zones. We're going to call them as opposed to lie zones, but I can tell when she's being dishonest now, and I think a lot of other people can tell too. So especially long-term people, long-term viewers of hers. And again, you know, that whole like Anna's resting face is very angry. We saw that throughout. I mean, does this look like a happy person? And it's also interesting throughout the video where, you know, she spends the first half retelling her lipedema story and re-explaining how awesome the surgery was for her and why she needed to have it, basically. She's retelling and defending her actions to that point. And then the second half of the video, or the last like third of the video, she just kind of like progressively gets more and more irritated because of the criticism that she's been receiving, to the point where she gets to the end and she can't wish us peace anymore. She's just gonna wish us a good day. Okay. Sure, Anna. If you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and put something green in the comments section because of her green shirt. And let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And that's all I've got for you. I will see you guys in the future. I do have 2 videos that I was editing before I saw this hit, and I was like, well, let's stay relevant. So here we are. So anything green, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.